League of Legends released a brand new splash art for a champion that was reworked, and people are thinking that this was AI generated. So let us take a look at this whole thing. So it all starts with this post by Skin Spotlights titled Shyvana Updated Splash Art. And this was something that was also posted by League of Legends Leaks. The Shyvana rework isn't like in the game yet, but the gameplay video is out with her updated abilities. If you don't know League of Legends, Shyvana is a dragon woman. So she stands in her like human dragon-esque form, and then at the time, pre-rework, her ultimate ability means she jumps and transforms into a big dragon and spits fire on people. Really, really strong. She's a jungler. Personally, have a hard time playing her, but I think she's cool. But this is the splash art for it, and it features Shyvana with a bunch of Demacia warriors behind her. I think this looks super cool and intimidating. All the Shyvana mains are in Discord rejoicing right now. But then an artist went ahead and made this post. So this is just a quick paint over on top of AI, right? Let's throw a few random strokes over it so nobody notices that this small indie company, Riot Games, can't afford artists. By the way, like there's like an ongoing joke in the League of Legends community that Riot Games is a small indie company because there'd be like things that like Riot wouldn't implement in the game for a long time, and the joke is that they're broke. So they're circling things like the belt, the U V shape on the belt, maybe because this side of the U is a bit thicker than the other side. They're highlighting the armor, which has like some scratches in the armor. I don't know where this is, but there's like a little bit of shapes kind of visible. And then on her breastplates, highlighting the gold detailing of the breastplates, and then more aspects of the armor, right, that they're circling. And the accusation is that this is an AI paint over. I think this is most definitely really interesting and definitely a big claim to be making, right? Calling a game in general or accusing a game of using AI is definitely a big task, especially a game like League of Legends backed by Riot Games, because Riot Games is very, very notably pro artist. They do a lot of art focused things. They have fan art hung up on the walls of their Riot office. I saw it when I went there in LA. They have, always done a lot of pro artist initiatives. So it would feel like an utmost betrayal of a game like Riot Games if there was AI used in the process. But looking at the artwork, it's definitely a bit interesting, and I'm curious about your thoughts with respect, of course, because like at the end of the day, there is an artist that worked on this, right? At least one, if not a bunch of people, because the splash art is a team of people. I mean, the belt buckle is thicker on one side than the other. The shape is not even, but potentially this was something where, the asymmetry was something they were going for. These like scratches are dense in the armor. This is something that if you look at Riot Games splash arts dating back to like before AI was a thing, back in like 2020 or before, many characters have dents in their armor. And there have been like art tutorials made by people, splash artists at Riot Games, who have literally illustrated how to draw armor. And they've drawn in chinks. Like, it's just something they do. Another thing highlighted here, I think, are the lines in the armor, the connecting panels of the armor. This likely could just be an artistic choice that's added. Maybe it's a sign of AI generation. I don't know, right? These chest plates, I think what they were trying to highlight is the fact that this is like a different perspective than this. It could be like a perspective thing because her body is tilted at an angle. And a commenter writes, I fail to see the AI in this one. I mean, there's always a probability these days, but I worked with and learned about AI since 2022 and saw countless models and images. But this one, I really wouldn't tell it's AI, to be honest. If there's an artist, they might let us know. And OP says, I'm not claiming it's purely AI. I'm saying it feels like an outline painted over an AI base. And another person writes, but those look like normal brushstrokes and weathering/damage on the armor is often painted this way. And OP writes, belt buckle, it doesn't make any sense. An artist who renders at that level wouldn't usually make a mistake like that. If you Google Bo Chen, the level of his brushwork and weathering is completely different. It's not random because the artist knows exactly what they're doing. And if you're wondering who Bo Chen is, this is Bo Chen's art station. Bo is the former principal illustrator at Riot Games, credited with a laundry list of beautiful splash arts on the League of Legends wiki. These are all the splash arts that Bo is credited with. It is a long history. Bo has been working on splash arts at Riot Games since 2017, as listed on their art station. They unfortunately were sadly let go, which I don't know Riot Games, but they're a massively talented artist. And they were, in my opinion anyways, a huge driving force of the art style of the beautiful pieces of splash art that Riot Games have produced. And as you can see, like look at the chinks in armor, which also I do want to add on a side note, we don't know who made the splash art because it was essentially leaked, right? There is also another splash artist called Jennifer Oestling, who is a senior illustrator at Riot Games, who has also made a lot of beautiful splash art as well. But as you can see here, this piece, Xinjiao, a lot of chinks in the armor visible, which is part of the art style. Again, with the silver armor, there's a lot of like swooping kind of like lines cut into it. We have one here. We have these swooping lines in this piece. I mean, here we have medieval Twitch. This is from 10 years ago, actually. And you can see again, like the same chinks in the armor and stuff like that. The cut lines, these lines here, all of that is still present in Bo's work from 10 years ago when AI was not even a thing. Again, we don't know if Bo is the artist, but I'm just showing you some League of Legends splash arts that were made from a long time ago in a very similar style. Another person adds, her metalwork of Cassiopeia painted many years ago already has this generalized style. AI didn't exist then, so I think it's simply her artistic style, not AI. This is referring to Jennifer. Again, I was trying to find the credit to Shyvana's splash art, and as of now, nothing really has been listed. The League of Legends wiki for Jennifer, the most recent one was the immortalized Ari skin, where again, I was like trying to look on the wiki to see if they credited anybody. And another user adds, go to the League wiki, look up Jennifer Whistling, open her splashes in the original resolution, and you will see it's not AI. She paints over as she upscales resolution. Many people do. Before doing an accusation like that, go see it first. You can look for splashes before AI and see. And another person adds, I thought it was Bo Chen's work since the latest default splash arts like Xinjiao and Zahen's are coming from him, and the style is so similar to his. But yep, this one looks like it might be made by either. In defense of the artwork, another person adds, this looks like brushstrokes mostly. Do you draw? Some of the ones you circled are even the standard brushes that you find in most art programs. And they're highlighting, the chinks in the armor, they write brushstrokes. Over here again, they add probably liquefy tool, and some more aspects on the breastplate, they add brushstrokes again, and some more armor, which these again all look like brushstrokes. Another person had a really viral quote retweet adding, artists can't add detail, liquefy, or use brushstrokes anymore without people thinking it's AI. My God, we're doomed. And another person adds, I feel bad for the actual artists who made this. Writers struggle with the same limitations nowadays too, particularly with the use of em-dashes, ellipses, and Oxford commas. There's something to be said about people who make this accusation left and right. And another artist, Basil, adds, one of the things that feels really frustrating as an artist living in the age of AI is that now small artistic choices are nitpicked to hell and accused of being artificially produced. All of the things circled here, I either can't tell what they're pointing out or is very clearly a part of the art that isn't the focal point, meaning the details are less refined. It's just really sad that artists have to be worried about details that they may not have even thought could be considered AI because they didn't refine it enough or it was a stylistic choice. Sorry, and I thought this was so funny. Basil adds how I saw their post and they just write 6, 7 scribbled in red. I saw this and this one just cracked me up. They just took the Shyvana splash art and drew a bunch of circles and arrows. Someone added a comment that I thought was really interesting. They write, the only part for me that actually looks like AI is the hair. There's a clear gap where it's supposed to fall behind the shoulder, but for some reason it just cuts straight like a ruler, lol. And I saw this and I just thought this was actually funny. To me, this actually is even more of a telltale sign that it's not AI actually, because you have the hair, right? The hair rendering here. And then as you can see, there is like a cut right here where the hair ends. And there's a gap between where the collarbone and the body is actually sitting. But I think to me, this actually tells you that it's not AI. What I'm guessing, and obviously I don't work for Riot, nor am I Riot endorsed. But what I think happened here probably, maybe, right, was the hair was on a different layer and the body was maybe positioned a little differently. Like maybe the chest was a little bit higher and in some sort of internal review, they were like, oh, like lower the chest a little bit so that, her shoulder is dropped a little bit more. And then they just didn't liquefy the hair down to match. That's what I'm guessing. But I think this is a telltale that it's not AI generated, right? Because that would be like a human-made error done in review for a splash art that got leaked. Because if it was AI, it wouldn't do this like clear cut. Like the AI mistakes doesn't have like a human reason as to why it happened, right? Like again, you could reasonably believe the body was liquefied and the hair was on a different layer and just didn't follow along with the liquefy. Right? Like the AI mistakes are like eyes bleeding into hair and stuff. Like humans don't do that. At the end of the day, to wrap it up, I am curious about your thoughts. Do you think the Shyvana splash art is generated? Do you think it is hand painted? I would love to hear your comments with respect in the comment section down below. Please don't send hate to any parties involved, and remember that there are artists involved in the process of making that splash art. So when discussing the work, you are discussing somebody's child, the thing they spent a lot of time making. So let's do it with some respect. Yay! And with that, if you guys like the video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on Etsy. I have digital art there for streamers and creators. I also have a coffee with free resources like a free sponsorship guide. And I stream on Twitch 3 days a week. Mondays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. and Thursdays at 7:30. So I hope to catch y'all there or in another video. Peace.